For 5,000 years, they have stood there silent and soulless, yet seemingly watching us from the depths of time as the Salisbury shadows slowly begin to lengthen. Welcome to Stonehenge, a sacred place where time itself seems to freeze and the ancient echoes of a forgotten world begin to whisper in the cold evening wind. Touch the cold, rough surface of these giants and feel the immense weight of centuries. Every crack and fissure tells a story that no living man truly remembers. Standing isolated on the vast grassy plain, the monument creates an eerie feeling of being observed by an invisible entity that has existed since the very dawn of humanity. The wind rifts through these narrow gaps, creating a haunting melody that resonates with the deep, rhythmic drone of the Earth's most mysterious and ancient stone temple. We stand on the precipice of history, looking into a mystery that has baffled kings, poets, and scientists for dozens of long and weary human generations across the ages. As the light fades, the stones transform into dark sentinels, guarding secrets that were never meant to be spoken aloud to those who walk the earth today. To understand their presence, we must travel back to a time before records began, when the world was raw and the land was ruled by nature's hand. There were no machines here and no steel to carve the earth. Only raw human power and a singular, driving vision to mark this ground as something truly extraordinary. Long before the great stones arrived, this site was already a place of gathering, a ritual landscape carved into the chalky soil of ancient Britain by determined hands. And let's observe the incredible precision of the joints, where stone is fitted into stone like wood. This level of sophisticated engineering was far beyond what we once thought possible. These builders understood structural integrity, carving massive blocks to lock together with a permanence that has defied the ravages of wind, rain, and time for thousands of years. Shadows of the past emerge, showing hundreds of men straining against the weight of the world, their breath visible in the cold air as they move mountains of rock. Each block weighs dozens of tons, requiring a level of social organization and collective will that challenges our modern understanding of so-called primitive tribal societies of the past. Why were these people so obsessed with this monumental task? What drove them to spend generations laboring in the mud to elevate these silent, heavy giants toward the sky? It was a project of immense scale, a multi-generational endeavor that suggests a deep, underlying purpose that was far more important than the survival of any single individual. They used only stone hammers to shape these surfaces, spending countless hours pounding away the rough edges to create the perfect architectural forms that we see standing today. By firelight, the stones must have looked like living gods rising from the ground, a testament to a culture that valued the eternal over the temporary or the convenient. Over hundreds of years, the site evolved, growing more complex and grand, reflecting the changing beliefs and the increasing technical mastery of the people who called this land home. The result was a masterpiece of the Neolithic world, a monument of stone and spirit that would eventually outlive the names and the language of those who built it. But the mystery deepens when we look at the smaller stones. The Bluestones did not come from here. They were brought from the rugged hills of Wales, far away, a journey of over 200 miles across treacherous terrain and open water. A logistical nightmare that seems almost impossible for people living 5,000 years in our past. When wet, these stones reveal a magical inner glow. To the ancients, this unique color may have held sacred properties or represented a connection to a distant ancestral home. They braved the rivers and the coastline, risking everything to transport these sacred rocks. It was an act of extreme devotion that modern engineers still struggle to fully replicate. Through thick forests and over steep ridges, the journey of the Bluestones was a testament to a faith so strong it could move mountains across an entire country. The sarsen stones provided the grand structure, but the Bluestones brought the mystery. Two different worlds of rock united in one singular sacred location for a purpose unknown. Did they believe these stones had healing powers? Or were they trophies from a conquered land, brought here to show the reach and power of a great prehistoric king? Every mile they traveled was a victory of human spirit over nature. They were not just moving rocks, they were moving the very foundation of their religious and cultural identity. Water and stone, life and endurance. The Bluestones carry the memory of the Welsh rain and the salt of the sea into the heart of the English countryside. Looking back toward the source, we see the immense scale of the ambition. It was a pilgrimage of stone, a holy mission that defined an era of human existence. The Bluestones remain as silent witnesses to that incredible journey, their presence a constant reminder that for the ancients, nothing was impossible when the gods demanded it. When the sun rises on the longest day of the year, a miracle of light occurs. This is not just a pile of rocks, it is a celestial engine. The alignment is perfect, and calculated thousands of years ago with a precision that rivals the work of modern astronomers. It is a bridge between earth and sky. This was their calendar, their clock, and their connection to the divine rhythm of the universe. It told them when to plant, when to harvest, and when to pray. As the stars wheel overhead, Stonehenge stands as a fixed point in a changing world. A cosmic compass designed to track the movements of the sun, moon, and stars. The builders captured the very light of the heavens, trapping the sun within their stone cage to prove their mastery over the passage of time and the seasons. Everything in this landscape was oriented toward this single point. It was the heart of a vast astronomical network, a sacred geometry written into the very earth itself. At the shortest day of the year, the stones performed their second act, marking the death of the old year and the promised rebirth of the coming spring. Inside the circle, the air feels different. The silence is heavy with the weight of 5,000 years of watching the heavens turn in their eternal, silent dance. Every movement of light was significant. To the Neolithic mind, the sun was a god, and Stonehenge was the place where that god came down to speak. They were masters of the stars. Without paper or pen, they recorded the secrets of the cosmos in these indestructible pillars of rock for all eternity to see. The day ends, but the alignment remains. A silent witness to the laws of physics and the deep spiritual longing of a people who reached for the stars. When the sun sets, a darker purpose emerges. By the light of the fire, the stone circle transforms into a gateway between our world and the next. This was a temple for the spirits, a place where the living could commune with the ancestors and where the boundary between life and death became thin. Sacrifices were made, rituals performed. The ground here is soaked in the memory of ancient prayers and the desperate hope for favor from the unseen spirits. Beneath our feet lies a city of the dead. Stonehenge was the center of a vast cemetery, the final resting place for the most important people of their age. They were buried with their treasures, their bodies oriented toward the sacred center. To be laid to rest near Stonehenge was to ensure an eternal life. The smoke of the funeral pyres once filled the air, carrying the essence of the departed up through the stone openings and into the vast, waiting night sky. It is a landscape of ghosts. Every stone is a headstone, every shadow a memory of a life that ended thousands of years before we were even born. In the silence of the night, you can almost hear the chanting, a low, rhythmic hum that vibrates through the rock and into the very marrow of your bones. The symbols etched into the rock speak of power and protection, but they are the marks of a warrior culture that respected the finality of the grave. It was a lighthouse for the soul, a permanent monument to the belief that even in death, we are connected to the grander cycles of the universe. Today, we bring our most advanced technology to these ruins, trying to peel back the layers of time and find the truth hidden in the shadows. We scan every millimeter, mapping the scars of time, yet the ultimate question of why remains as elusive as the morning mist on the Salisbury Plain. Fables tell of the wizard Merlin, who supposedly flew the stones from Ireland using magic. For centuries, this was the only explanation that people could believe. Others look to the stars and wonder if we had help from beyond. While scientists scoff, the sheer impossibility of the task continues to fuel our wildest imaginations. Every grain of sand is a clue. We analyze the isotopes, the minerals, and the pollen, desperate to piece together the world that these stones once inhabited. Every age has tried to claim Stonehenge for its own. It has been called a Druid temple, a Roman ruin, and a prehistoric slaughterhouse for the gods. In its presence, we feel small. Our modern lives are loud and fleeting, while the stones are patient, heavy, and eternally, frustratingly silent to our questions. Stonehenge does not care for our theories. It does not offer its secrets to the unworthy or the impatient. It simply exists, challenging the limits of our knowledge. Can you hear the whispers? Some say the stones hold the vibrations of the past, like a primitive recording that we are not yet advanced enough to play. The harder we search for answers, the more the mystery seems to expand. For every fact we uncover, 10 new questions rise from the damp, ancient earth. Is it a temple, a tomb, a clock? Or something else entirely that our modern minds are no longer capable of even imagining in our busy world? They have survived the fall of empires, the rise of religions, and the birth of the industrial age. They are the ultimate survivors of our human story. The day is coming to a close, and once again, the stones prepare to stand their ground in the darkness, waiting for a dawn that they have seen thousands of times. Stonehenge grows smaller as we retreat, a tiny island of rock in a sea of grass, yet its presence looms larger in our minds than any skyscraper. Feel the cold breath of the past on your neck. This is where history began, and where our understanding of ourselves still finds its greatest, most silent challenge. 5,000 years have passed, and the world has changed beyond all recognition. Yet Stonehenge remains exactly as it was intended to be, eternal. We are just temporary visitors to this place. The stones are the permanent residents, the true owners of the Salisbury Plain and the keepers of its time. Even in our modern world, their power is undeniable. They command respect, demanding that we stop and consider the incredible depth of our own ancient ancestry. Life is fragile, but stone is forever. Stonehenge stands as a monument to that basic human desire, to build something that will outlast our own breath. They will continue to stand, long after our names are forgotten and our cities have crumbled to dust. They are the ultimate witnesses to our existence. Some mysteries were never born to be solved. They exist to remind us that there are things in this universe far greater than our own understanding. Stonehenge will keep its secrets, standing silent and grand, watching the world turn until the very end of time itself. Lang im im, vo hon vein q. When you stand here, you feel the breath of eternity. 5,000 years down, and an infinity yet to go for the stones of Stonehenge.